Hey everybody, welcome to the next video. I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I had a pretty good time. Unfortunately, Sam couldn't be down here with us, but me and Aiden put on a pretty good showing for some of the airmen that didn't have anywhere good to go this year. So just some of the younger kids from work came on over, had a lot of food, hung out, watched some cool movies. It's just a really good time. So I hope yours was too. Got a few different things to show you today, and then a couple things to talk about. So let's jump in and start with some kind of cool news. The Contigo for the Benchmade giveaway is finished and looking pretty and beautiful. I'm not going to show it to you now because I want it to be a surprise when I release the whole video. So the 810 is all done, getting back on track and getting working on that. I've got the 275 underway right now, and that's probably got just another week or two before that's all finished. So I really am pretty confident I'm going to keep my promise to have that giveaway done and have that blade in somebody's hand by Christmas. In the meantime, since I'm making some good progress, I'm able to take on a couple more paid jobs and also just do some random stuff that I want to do, things that'll probably end up being runner-up prizes, or at least in the running to be runner-up prizes. I got to start off. I just want to bring something up. I am quite certain that everybody knows who Tough Thumbs is. If you're subscribing to my channel and you don't know who he is, you're doing this whole thing sort of backwards. He put up a video a week or two ago about a high-end knife sale, just getting back from the latest knife show. The amount of crap that he's taken for selling these knives is just, I've been trying not to say anything about it, trying not to jump in there in the comment war going on. First of all, Tough Thumbs is an artist. He's been my big inspiration for doing all this stuff with knives. Watching his videos is really what taught me a lot of the stuff I do. It's his business to know knives. If he is selling a knife and he flat out tells you in the beginning of the whole thing, this is a high-end knife sale and they're going to be expensive, who the hell are you to comment and bitch and moan that he's selling knives for expensive prices? I mean, and if you don't know what's going on, just check out his channel and see. I feel really bad that he's dealing with this crap. Yes, he gets paid to make really awesome custom knives. But the fact that he puts up all the videos that us fellow knife nuts can look at and admire, and it's so entertaining to see the stuff that he makes. And the fact that anybody would give him a bunch of crap over the fact that he's a businessman, and that's what he's doing. That's the whole point. That's America. Come here and find your niche and, be successful. So I felt like I had to say something about it because I think he's a really great guy. I know there's a lot of people that interact with him personally, and I haven't gotten a chance to, and I hope to one day. He's the master of all this. I even have some knives I want to send off to him just so I can get the masterpiece work done on it. So just everybody get off his ass. And you know what? Here's the deal, flat out and simple. This is a consumer society. If you don't like a product or you don't like the pricing on a product, find it somewhere else. Period. A little while back, I was contacted by somebody to do a knife, and in talking about what pattern they wanted, they had referenced something that Tough Thumbs had done, and then very quickly said, "I'm really sorry. Oh, I apologize. I'm not trying to compare you to Tough Thumbs or anything." And my response was, "Dude, are you kidding? Number one, apologize to Tough Thumbs for comparing me to him because I am nowhere near his league. But also, three names I want to throw out there for the guys that really have inspired me and from my beginnings doing this when I was deployed. Tough Thumbs, Red Gladius, and I know I'm going to get this name wrong, but John Grismo, I'm not sure. Tons of awesome videos to look at. Guys that really have some real talent and make these videos to show us what they're doing. So we should all just appreciate that kind of stuff and not bitch and moan about any one particular video that they might put up that we don't like. But anyway, okay, that's it. Done. Off the soapbox, moving on. So recently, there was a knife I got, and it just sort of arrived. I ordered it a while ago. And when I saw it, it's not my style at all. It's so far from what I normally like, but something about it just drew me to it. So I wanted to show it to everybody and just see what you all thought of it, how you felt about it, because I'm still not sure. There's part of me that loves this knife, and part of me that just looks at it like, what the hell was I thinking? It's sort of in a steampunk kind of Road Warrior style. It's a Tenacious, so nothing new there, but just the way it's been customized is kind of cool. Comes in a little leather sheath like this, which is, again, the whole Road Warrior steampunk thing going on. I'm normally not a lanyard fan on a knife, but it came with this really cool one with this bead on the end, which I like. And it's just, in terms of customizations, they took the original scales that came with it and just ground them out a little bit and made them look kind of apocalyptic and stuff. They did some really cool file work on the blade and on the liners. I love the finish on that blade, just the way that it catches the light when it moves. And the way they filled in the spider hole there, but made it look very industrial, again, sticking with that theme. So I think I like this knife. I think I could even love this knife, you know, just because it's so different. It's not like anything else I have in my collection. But, you know, I'm just interested in seeing what anybody else thinks of it, because I really am on the fence. I saw it, and I got it immediately, just because I said that is so different, and I was just very drawn to it. But I'm just not sure now that I have it. So, anyway, put that one aside. So I've got two pieces of custom work to show you. One is a little simpler than the other, so I'm going to start with that. And these are both from people at work, fellow Air Force guys. So this one is just a little Hinderer XM18, and I'm super jealous. I wish I had a Hinderer. I really wish, like, two things big on my wish list, a Hinderer and a Sebenza, because I just don't have any of them in my collection. But what he was looking for was something, and this is his exact words, was something tree bark-like. So he left the color up to me, and yeah, I could have done brown, but that would have been too simple with a tree bark type finish. I've always really liked the way that Ruby Red G10 looks when it's all cut and oiled up and stuff. So that's what I went with. So I just did sort of a tree barky kind of finish on it. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. This blade is so polished and shiny. That's actually what's throwing off all the lighting on here and making all those weird shadows. I think the camera's trying to compensate for the flash of the blade. But, you know, it's nothing too special or fancy on this one. Just a simple little bit of work there. Again, nothing done to the blade, nothing done to the frame lock side. Just, you know, a special individual custom little scale. So I really like the way it looks. Really like the color. God, I wish I had my own Hinderer. I'd really love an XM24. But this is my first time even holding a real Hinderer. I mean, I have the ZT561, but that's, you know, that's a zero tolerance designed by Hinderer. That's not a Hinderer knife. I do have a weird nagging suspicion that this is a fake somehow. Something just doesn't seem quite right, and I can't put my finger on it. But he's going to be very happy. He's seen pictures, and he'll get his knife back on Monday. So there's that one. Now, the next one I spent a lot of time on, and it's kind of a cool project to do because we got a new troop in right out of tech school, 18 years old, and this happens to be for a girl. Most of the time you do a knife, you're doing it for a guy because guys are into knives. Well, this is a girl that grew up in Virginia, always out in the outdoors and stuff, super motivated, glad to have her with us, and when we started talking about sort of field type stuff and the topic of, you know, equipment came up, she's very excited about all the knife stuff. So she had a couple specific requests, but overall, she just wanted something that looked really, in her words, that looks flashy and cool, but also something that she could carry around and that she could use. We started with a Kershaw tension. Kershaw tension is sort of, you know, I put up a couple videos now about the 1 ton. It's like the liner lock version of the 1 ton, the 1 ton being the frame lock with one scale. The tension has a scale on each side and liner lock, but it's a very, very similar knife. Not identical, but very similar. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like the 1 ton a lot better, but this is what she picked out. And I have the original scale on here because there was a lot of work done to this knife. So what I'm going to do real quick, just cut to a picture of this next to the stock 1 ton just to see the difference. Okay, so with the major differences, especially the regrinding of the blade shown and everything. So here's the original scale again, and then this is what we did. And yeah, you might have seen the letters on the front. We'll talk about that in a minute. The pattern was just something that we, you know, something simple and quick and easy that we just came up with real fast. It's just put back together and Loctited, so it's a little bit tight, you know, as it breaks in again. So just looking again from the beginning, reground the blade, took out that drop point shape and gave it more of a Bowie style or a clip point sort of. Yeah, there's a couple little scratches in the blade right there I got to buff out. Stone washing, not my idea this time. I know what you're all thinking. She really liked the stone wash on the blade. I cut this jimping in the top, again, making it as functional as possible. Also, added the jimping to the liners over here, and then down in the back over there, just to make sure that no matter how she's holding this thing, she can get a really good grip on that. And, you know, that little bit really adds a lot to this knife. So obviously we went with the blue and black G10 for the scales. The pattern she wanted and the width is just not available in a solid piece of G10. So I actually put these all together, you know, very thin pieces, but still the actual width of the individual color layers is thicker than when you just buy layered G10. It intentionally does not match front to back, by the way. She's got little hands. I've got much bigger hands than her, but these are measured out so that as she holds the knife, the fingers wrap around these grooves over here, but then there's larger grooves on the back for the backs of the fingers. So, but there's a reason it's not perfect from one side to the other. Put a little bit more jimping there in the liner lock, just like I do on the frame locks for the 1-tons. And then, most importantly, ground the scale up a lot. She can get really good traction right there to close this knife when she wants. Super solid lockup still, which I really like. We tried an orange peel finish on the pivot screws. I'm not happy. She's happy. I'm not happy. I think that could have come out a lot better if we did something else. But she just wanted to try because we did the orange peel on the liners and she wanted it to match. Okay, fine. Also did the orange peel on the frame screws and they came out pretty good. Clip is stonewashed. I'm really proud, actually. I got that. I had to drill through the first layer of black to get that. And these screws are pretty short, so they weren't making it all the way to the liner because these are just slightly thicker than the original scales that come on it. All right, just a little bit. So I got that perfectly set in there. You can hardly even tell just by, you know, quickly looking at it. Gave her the Jade G10 back spacer. She basically let me pick the color on that. You know, I'll put Jade on anything and everything if given the option. And again, jimping in there to make it work. Now, her big request was that she wanted her initials in this knife. And the original plan was just to sort of grind the initials in and engrave them in. I had an idea about halfway through that if we're grinding them in, and I've got all this glow-in-the-dark stuff lying around, and we talked about glow-in-the-dark, I ground them pretty deep into the scale before I did any of the texturing on it. Filled it in with the glow-in-the-dark epoxy, let it all set, sanded it nice and smooth, and that way, when I cut the pattern in, the glow-in-the-dark letters were set in there, so they're actually ground right into the handle with the contrast. I also put some glow-in-the-dark in the back spacer. She's very motivated to get out in the field and do some work. We talked about knives out in the field and everything, and the topic came up, you know, what if you drop it out in the dark or something? And this is just a random sort of thing that came up, but you've got the long dash, dash, lets her know in the dark which is the blade end as she's going to pick up the knife, say she puts it down or drops it and can't quite see very clearly, versus which is the butt end. So maybe it's useful, maybe it's not, who cares, it looks kind of cool. The tension has a pretty good feel in the hand. It's a little small for my taste, but again, she's got small little hands, so she's gonna like this a lot. It's perfectly smooth, perfectly centered. You know, Kershaw's, I've always said, and I'll say again and again, the value to price ratio is super high. I mean, Kershaw's make some great blades. Speaking of blades, put a really nice edge right back on that for her. You know, she wanted something unique. She wanted something that was going to stand out, something that was going to be noticeable, but again, maintaining that full functionality. And, you know, she's going to carry this around with her for quite a while, in the field, in uniform. You know, I'm not sure what else she's going to do with it, but I'm actually very, very happy with this one. And even though I'm not a big fan of the Kershaw tension, I might get one and just sort of do the same treatment on it, but with like OD scales, just to see. But let's go check out what it looks like in the dark. So look how bright that is. That's the Half-Life X material, aqua color, not green. Got some green right there, just to see the difference right there. It's a much more aqua blue color in real life. I know right now it's so bright it's just looking sort of whitish, but just look at the light reflecting on my finger. That's a lot of glow in the dark all in one place. But it looks really great. Now, I didn't get the letters as perfectly straight as I wanted. This is the first time I've ever pulled anything like this off. So I think that being taken into consideration, this came out really well. She hasn't seen it glowing yet. She's just seen the original KJH that was put in there, and she really liked that. This is really going to, I think, just knock her socks off. I can't wait for her to see that at work. Now, if this knife is kind of dropped on the ground or something out in the field, so there you go. You know exactly which end you want to grab and which end you don't. So we'll have to test the functionality of that in the future in some real-life situations. So that's kind of all the work I have to show you guys right now. Got something else over here that I've been wanting to talk about. got my hands on an old, out-of-production Benchmade 910, the non-nitrous striker, the nitrous one being the 912. I hate the nitrous striker. That spring assist system just really sucks. But this, I would say, the original Model 910 is one of the best Benchmades ever made. I mean, I love the Model 910. I cannot possibly explain to you how much I really love the 910. The shape of it, the feel of it. This one's a little rough. It needs some work. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell right here, and I don't want to just focus too much on it. But I'm going to be redoing this just sort of my own project. So I'd love to hear if anybody has any cool ideas on how you'd like to see this end up. Maybe it'll end up a runner-up prize. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I might just keep it for my own collection. But anyway, yeah, please, if you do have any ideas of what would look really good with this knife, please let me know. I'd love to hear it in the comments or something. That's all I got for you. But as always, I've got lots of stuff in production, lots of cool ideas in my head, lots of interesting stuff to show you. Have another Contigo, not for the giveaway, but one that somebody sent for some work. It's pretty extensive. We're reshaping the entire handle, and, you know, I haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure I'll get permission to show it to you guys. I would want to show that knife off to everybody if it was mine when it's all done. It's going to look really sweet. Anyway, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Once again, hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving and a good time shopping on Black Friday. Yeah, I avoid that like the plague. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll be back real soon.